welcome. We've got a huge news story that just broke a couple hours ago. As I was driving in, I discovered this. This is big. And all I can tell you is, in a rational world, Karen Bass's political career would be over. As of today, she'd be done. I don't know if that's going to happen because everybody's crazy. But in a normal world, in any other time, Karen Bass would be done, and she would not be elected as mayor of Los Angeles. In fact, she probably would resign. Here's the story, and this came out from the Los Angeles Times a short time ago. And the headline, and I'm going to read this verbatim. Bass directed the watering down of the Palisades Fire after action report. Bass directed the watering down of the Palisades Fire after action report. And here's the story. Paul Pringle and Aileen Chekmidian. For nearly 2 months, Mayor Karen Bass has repeatedly denied that she was involved in altering the after action report on the Palisades Fire to downplay failures by the city and the LA Fire Department. But 2 sources with knowledge of Bass's office said after receiving an early draft, the mayor told the interim fire chief, Ronnie Villanueva, that the report could expose the city to legal liabilities for those failures. Bass wanted key findings about the LA Fire Department's actions be removed or softened before the report was made public. That's according to the sources, and that is what happened. The changes to the report, which originally was released on October the 8th, came to light through a Times investigation in December. The sources told the Times that 2 people close to Bass informed them of the mayor's behind-the-scenes role in watering down the report. One source spoke to both of the people. The second source spoke to one of them. The sources requested anonymity so they could speak frankly about the mayor's private conversations with Villanueva and others. The Times is not naming the people who are close to Bass because that could have the effect of identifying the sources. One Bass confidant told one of the sources, quote, the mayor didn't tell the truth when she said she had nothing to do with changing the report. The source says that the confidant advised Bass that altering the report was a bad idea and would hurt her politically. According to the source, the 2 confidants said that Bass held on to the original draft until after the changes were made. The source said both confidants are prepared to testify under oath to verify their accounts if the matter ends up in a legal proceeding. Both sources said they did not know if Villanueva or anyone else in the LA Fire Department or in the mayor's office made line-by-line edits at Bass's specific instructions or if they imposed the changes after receiving a general direction from her. The second source said all the changes the Times reported on were the ones Karen wanted, referring to the Times' determination that the report was altered to deflect attention from the fire department's failure to pre-deploy crews to the Palisades before the fire. Bass did not respond this week to a request for comment for the article. So she knew this was coming and didn't want to talk about it. She thinks nothing can ever happen to her. That's me speaking. Back to the LA Times. The mayor has previously rejected several requests by the Times to be interviewed about the report. In response to written questions, a spokesperson for Bass's office said in an email in December, the report was written and edited by the fire department. We did not redline, review every page, or review every draft of the report. The spokesperson, Clara Carger, said the mayor's office only asked that the fire department fact-check any findings regarding the effect of city finances and high wind forecasts. Bass told the Times in a brief interview last month she did not work with the fire department on changes to the report, nor did the agency consult her about any changes. Quote, the only thing I told them was to talk to another bureaucrat, Matt Szabo, about the budget and the funding, and that was it. That's a technical report. I'm not a firefighter. She's lying. She's lying. She's lying. And so is her spokesperson, Clara Carger. Villanueva declined to comment. That's the interim fire chief. He's made no public statements. And Jaime Moore said last month he wasn't going to determine who was responsible. He didn't see the benefit of doing that. I'm also now going to play you, if you can get that clip ready. I've been playing this over the last couple of days, and I found it really puzzling. Really puzzling, and nobody in the Palisades community could understand this. But here's Jaime Moore being pressed by Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf.
Are we closer to learning who watered down this report and who ordered that to be watered down?
So just like the mayor's State of the City address, I think we need to look forward. We need to look for what's ahead. That's behind us.
But residents kind of want those answers.
Well, I understand that, but they have to understand what are they going to do with those answers. They want to point fingers. They want to point blame. I've taken ownership.
I've taken ownership? He wasn't a part of this mess. Now he is. They want to point fingers. They want to point blame. Yes, everybody does. This performance by Karen Bass and the LA Fire Department officials destroyed people's lives irreversibly. Destroyed their lives. There's thousands of victims here. Some of them are dead. Some of them have been forced to move and they'll never return. Everybody's life, from elderly senior citizens to little children, have had their lives irreversibly altered, traumatized. These are the worst memories of all these children's lives. This is a horrible way for the elderly to spend their final days. And now there are burdens that the parents have, the homeowners have, that are going to go on for years and years and years with no end in sight because many of them don't have the money to rebuild. And they're not getting insurance. And it's because of what Karen Bass and Kristen Crowley and Janice Quinones did. Period. Period, full stop. How about that? And she hired Kristen Crowley, or retained her. She hired Janice Quinones, Bass herself, the three of them. Three of the most incompetent, destructively incompetent people you'll ever have in government. And then they promised, oh no, the after-action report. That's how they dodged all the questions for most of last year. After-action report, after-action report. We're going to find out, we're going to find out. And then she gets it and changes it and then lies about it. Karen Bass repeatedly lied about it. She did change it. Her own staff members are turning on her because they got to deal with the grief that they see in the Palisades. This is wrong. This is horrible. She doesn't have a shred of decency, a shred of morality, nothing. I've never seen anybody this ice cold. She can't even fake it. She should resign immediately. She should not be reelected. I mean, what kind of a crazy person would vote for her? After she lied? She covered up the truth and then lied about covering it up. She lied all the way along. The early lie, she claimed she didn't know that there was going to be a big windstorm. She didn't know there were extreme fire warnings. She lied. Compulsive, sociopathic liar. I don't know how you show your face in public. How do you show your face in public? After we find out you are covering up the truth and you're worried about legal liability? There's plenty of lawsuits out there. The truth's coming out eventually. You're just trying to delay it until you get reelected. That's what you're not worried about legal liability. She doesn't have to pay. And the city taxpayers are going to have to pay a whopping amount anyway, because this is all going to come out in discovery. What was the other thing she did? She had the attorneys in the civil lawsuits demand from the judge a 30-day pause on releasing the information from the depositions to the public. So we're in some kind of blackout when it comes to the deposition information. And now, and again, this is all because we have a primary election coming up in June. So she's shutting down the news. Almost pulled it off. But her own people are talking. Her own people are turning on her. So if you're just joining us, Karen Bass, she is the one who directed the watering down of the Palisades Fire after action report, according to the LA Times. She's covering up all the terrible things that she and the fire department did, all the incompetence. And then she lied about it.